time for the fire-breathing sport sedans. And Greg Russ, this is always an exciting race, even more so reverse grid.
I'll tell you what, it certainly is. David Groves has got pole position. Brian Tosin out of 2. From 3, it's Peter DeSisto. And out of 4, it's David Krause in the E.H. Holden.
Well, this should be very interesting for the guys rear of field. I suppose a bit of a driving lesson coming up for the guys at the front of the field. Let's see how it all unfolds. We're in the starters' hands. Now, have a look at the guys at the rear of field here. They're the ones that have really got the grunt, got the horsepower. They should be able to mow down at least a couple of rows of cars before we get to the first turn. Now, it's Lyndon Bain settling himself in. I can see Craig Wildridge up there as well. Plenty of action on and off the track. That's Jack Hughes there, off the side of the circuit. Bain, though, in control, this time down into the S's. Now, the name of the game is, I suppose, have a good look in the mirrors, because there's going to be people having a look left, right and centre. Another of the cars there off the circuit. Now, the fast guys, rear of field, they will be looking for a very fast run through the traffic. I suppose they really do want to keep it just nice and tidy, keep it safe. But remember, this is part of the $40,000 race series for Obrien Aluminium.
Well, Obrien Aluminium have, of course, been proud supporters of motorsport in many forms for many years. And in fact, Ronnie O'Brien's actually out there today trying to get back some of the cash.
Yeah, I think both Ron and his son, Peter O'Brien, out there giving it a good bash. Well, this really is an interesting race, isn't it? The fast cars from the rear of field trying to thread their way through. And I suppose in total, there's about 6 seconds difference in the fastest qualifier to the not so fastest qualifier. That's Craig Wildridge on screen. Behind him, Darren Stewart. That's Lyndon Bain, number 50, coming through. Norm Stokes there in the little escort having a bit of fun. These guys are out in front and they're going to make their cars as wide as they possibly can. But here's Stewart on the move. You can see him here late under brakes underneath Wildridge, or at least having a good look at Craig Wildridge there. Wildridge running a Capri Ford engine, and that's great to see. The Ford fans really enjoying seeing some Ford machinery out there as well. Stokes in the Capri, and you can see now that the field's starting to spread out just a little bit, and that's going to go well for the guys from the rear of field. Plenty of laps, bit of time to have a good think about what they want to do.
Yeah, brake bias problems, it looked like Wildridge was suffering there towards the end of the straight, and Stewart now seems to be coming up towards the back of him. But the Tirana looks like it's come under a bit of fire from one of the cars earlier in the race, and the passenger side door has got a big dent in it.
There really is some damage out there on the Tirana, but he's doing a nice job with it. In fact, really pressuring Wildridge this time up and over the dogleg. Sport sedans, the crowd love them. This is great racing. Here he is having another go up the inside. Oh, Stewart sideways. Jeez, he's having a good time. Little bit of liquid there as they come up onto the straight. There was an oil spill earlier in the day and they've had to clean it down, so the guys are a little bit careful as they come up onto the straight. That is your leader, Craig Wildridge, still out in front, doing a good job. Not so much pressure on him just at that point on the circuit. I think possibly Darren Stewart's really fast around the back part, but Wildridge has got some pace. These guys having a great battle out in front, really enjoying themselves right at the moment. And you can see here, Stewart makes up all the ground. In fact, it looks as if there's a little bit of the car hanging off at the front. Next one through now, that's Barry Jamison, all the way from rear of field. So Jamo has really started to put the pressure on and has got himself some clear track. Here comes Stewart again under brakes, trying all he can. This is 3 times in a row he's had a look here, and now Jamo coming up to play with these guys. Wait till you see the horsepower difference. Barry Jamison, better than 600 horsepower, 350 Chevrolet engine. We'll see how that pans out for him, but you can bet that he'll be in front of these 2 guys in no short time at all. There, he's already gotten Darren Stewart.
Yeah, he certainly has. He's on a charge. I tell you what, a great job by him to fight his way through the field. I mean, it's pretty scary when you're coming fastest from last to try and fight your way through the field in a car that, Greg, is quite an expensive piece of machinery.
Well, it does go to show just how, I suppose, that the guys at the front of the field are being mindful of the fact they've got some very fast and very expensive equipment in behind them. And the name of the game really is just have a good look in the mirrors. Well, now your race leader, Barry Jamison, establishing that he's got the fast car and settling himself down now. Stewart again up the inside of Wildridge. These guys don't mind that they've gone back to second and third. This is a great battle from these 2 guys. Holden 6-cylinder versus Ford V8 power here at Oran Park. The crowd really enjoying this action. Here's Stewart up the inside this time. What's Wildridge's answer? A lot of tyre smoke there. It looks as if Stewart really late on the brakes here. You can see the front wheel up off the deck. These guys turning it on for the crowd. Meanwhile, you've got all the fast guys. Jamo's out in front of them. The rest of the field trying to make their way through and get up there with Jamo. I think Jamo has simply lit led up and left. He's just so fast, so much faster than these guys, and it's now clear track for these two blokes to get on with it. But it is Darren Stewart on screen. Power slides his way up onto the straight. Geez, having a bit of fun with that. You can see now that's Des Wall there in the Supra. He's coming up to play with these guys as well. So plenty of action rear of field. That's Bill Harris there in the immaculate VR Commodore, VP Commodore. It looks like a Tourer. He's done a nice job with that as well. But RX-7's all over the place here now. It's really starting to get interesting. That's Des Wall at the rear of that little group there. He's trying to thread his way through. Chev-powered Supra. Again, better than 600 horsepower for his car.
You talk about Harris there a moment ago, Greg. That's a very interesting piece of machinery, that Commodore. And in fact, Harris has elected not to go for the standard Commodore engine. He's got a Valiant six-cylinder engine in that machine.
Yep, the Hemi six-cylinder proving it's got the goods for the job. Well, that is our race leader, the Campbelltown Frames and Trusses machine of Barry Jamieson. He's in charge of this one. In fact, now he's starting to look like lapping competitors. So everybody just trying to settle themselves in. Jamo in control. You can see a couple of cars off to the side. It's been a bit of a race. In fact, they must be close to the last lap as Wall charges down the inside this time using 600 horsepower. They are on their last lap. That's Paul Nielsen just ahead of him. That's Wildridge, car 54, sandwiched in between these two guys. Don't forget that Jamo is out in front, running away with it right at the moment. And Darren Stewart in the Tirana, what a great race from him.
Yeah, very level-headed approach from Darren Stewart. Just managed to settle in and hang on to that second place, and he's done a terrific job. Out in front, though, your leader, Barry Jamieson in the Campbelltown Frames and Trusses Ford Falcon. And hasn't he done a great job here? He's going to come up onto the main straight now to greet the checkered flag and take out the race.
Yeah, brilliant run from him. Managed to keep it nice and tidy. The checker comes out for Barry Jamieson, car 45. But guess who grabs second? Darren Stewart. A brilliant drive from him. Gee, you'd have to be pleased with that. Paul Nielsen grabs third place. And that is race 3 of the 1995 Sports Sedan Series for Obrien Aluminium.